insecurity, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. And I'm a firm believer that if you had male or female friends before your relationship, you keep those same friends. Right. Now, are you going to be hanging out at the club all the time like you used to do with them when you were single? No. And as a friend, they should respect that about you. And I think that's the other key, is that you want to make sure that the people that you call friends respect your relationship. Right. Because if they don't respect your relationship, that's when I let these haters keep hating, or support me. The riders keep riding, y'all fakers ignore me. Cause I'm a big man, getting my own. Taking up, can't take enough, stacking my dough. Shit serious, what would it take for your people to love me? Welcome back to another episode of Shoes Off Talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are in the building on this lovely Saturday.
Yes.
Before we get started, I just wanted to send condolences to a couple people. Nikki Alexander and her family. Her son Tyson passed away late last night. I was fortunate I could be with the family during his last moments. I left, and probably an hour after I left is when he passed. So sending prayers to Nikki and the family, also to my cousin Natasha Trent, who lost her son in a tragic accident a couple months ago. That's tough. I don't care how, even though the two situations were Tyson developed osteosarcoma cancer probably like 2 years ago, so he's been battling that for 2 years. And then the accident with Natasha's son, my little cousin, was a tragic traffic accident. There's still no way to ever say that, one, I was able to prepare for it, and the other one was, all of a sudden. When it comes to losing kids, I have no idea what that tragedy feels like. And for those of our listeners that have had the misfortune of being able to experience what that's like, losing a child, my heart goes out to you. But if you've never lost a child, you have no idea even what to say to someone that has lost a child. And so my prayers and thoughts go out to both of the families, and I pray the prayer that God gives you peace, the ability to cope. I can never see that being easy or something that you just are able to move past. So I just hope that God gives you peace during this time of dealing. We always say as parents that, God, if it's your will, the parents are supposed to always go before the children go. And I pray that prayer. I pray that God takes me before he takes any of my kids or my grandkids. But we all know that God's plan is not necessarily our plan. And so it's important to stay prayed up. It's important to love on everybody while you have them. We take time, and people we take it for granted, and we think that we have all this time either because they're a young age or in good health. But my mom always told me there's small graves just like it is big graves. And so we have to act like every second, every minute, every day, every hour could be the last, and it very well could. So love on the people that are dear to you. Send love to the people that you don't even know. And man, just love life, because we don't know when it's going to end. It was kind of a solemn day for me after getting the news. And so when I have days like that, I try to surround myself with people that uplift and put my spirits where they need to be. And so I was able to do that. So that is a blessing in itself. Some people don't have that. And so if you have people out there that is going through it, don't just send a text, man. Pick up the phone, let them hear your voice, go see them, check on them, and typically it's your strong ones that you probably should worry about the most because they are so used to being there for everybody else.
Right.
It's typically not reciprocated when it comes to them, and those are the ones that are probably the best at hiding it because they just feel like they have to be strong for everyone else. So condolences. Just get out and love on everybody. We thank you guys for tuning in to today's show. Today's topic. First of all, how's you guys' weekends going so far?
Wonderful. I had a great week and wonderful morning. We went to checked out Sugar Jam for the first time. That's quite the place. That's an experience. That's not just a meal. It's an experience.
Yes. Floyd, what about you?
Same thing. I love the whole atmosphere of Sugar Jam. It was like, it was different for me, going to a spot where you have all in one area. Man, that's what's up. I like that. Yeah.
Good music.
Yeah.
Good energy.
I've tried to forewarn them. We've all been to places that have had a great vibe. It's a ton of places we can probably name them off the top of our head that have had a great vibe. But typically it's hard to get both things, great vibe and good food.
Right.
Typically you'll get one or the other. You get a great vibe or you'll get great food. Sugar Jam, though, is just, it gives you both. Right. And that's few and far between that you can find places like that that'll give you both. And I was telling them while we were out supping that definitely whenever I'm going through something, man, to walk in those doors, through those doors of Sugar Jam, it's definitely a calmness that comes over me. You walk in there and you really forget about what's going on in your life, especially if it's something negative.
Right.
And you can let your hair down and enjoy yourself, have a good time, eat some comfort food, and be around people that is just out to have a good time. The staff there is amazing.
Man.
You really feel like that staff loves their job, and they really do. From the ownership to the staff, it flows downhill, and it's a perfect balance of love and caring, and you see it in the faces.
Yeah.
And so, the city owes Dana a debt of gratitude because she's not just serving food. Doesn't just have a great atmosphere. She's bringing people together, and they're having a good time while doing it. And so kudos to Dana and Sugar Jam. We love you guys and appreciate you guys. I know you probably get tired of seeing me in there. Get used to it. I ain't going nowhere until God says so. Today's topic.
All right.
This is the age-old question. Can people of the opposite sex remain friends while either or both is in a committed relationship? We're going to start this off with Floyd.
Oh. Whoa, me.
Yeah, Floyd.
Oh.
Yeah. We.
What do you think about it, Floyd?
Okay. Wow. Okay. Caught me off guard. Okay.
Yeah, that's what the show is about, right?
Yeah.
Floyd got notes over there.
Yeah. All right. So, well, number one, I believe befriending someone of the opposite sex teaches us to expand our ideas of who a good friend can be.
So I'm taking it with that answer, you are in support of having opposite sex friends while you're in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Tim?
Is that all you have to add to that?
Well, number two.
Okay.
Number two.
I knew.
He does have notes over there.
Yeah, I knew it. It's
need
just
those
certain things he does that lets me know he ain't done yet.
Okay.
And when he started doing this,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that mean he got something else to say.
Okay. And then I say, now, the person can offer alternative viewpoints on various life situations that you might not receive from same sex. Offer a more diverse view.
That's great. That is
Very true.
absolute. Christy, I'm gonna go last.
You're gonna. Oh, you want to go?
Yeah,
last.
because I think I need to object to some things you might.
Object.
I need a gamble, like objection. Your
Order.
Your honor. What say you, Christy?
I like hearing different perspectives on this because I have to say, probably every man in my life has gone against that. They say no man and woman who are attracted, or if a man, it doesn't matter about the woman, because I think with women, attraction develops. We're not necessarily attracted at first sight, but men, I've been told, if a man is attracted to a woman, he cannot be friends with her. Like, definitely.
Okay, I'm gonna interject in that.
By multiple people, I've been told that. I disagree with it, but go ahead. What do you have to say?
I'm gonna interject in that, and that's just so I don't lose my thought.
Okay.
Now, we do understand that when you are friends, there is an attraction there already, regardless whether it's mental, intellectual, spiritual, emotional. You wouldn't be friends if it wasn't some kind of attraction there.
Right.
So I just wanted to interject that.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. So, my brother-in-law says, absolutely not. If a man is attracted to a woman, he will wait until there's an opening. If she's in a relationship, no matter when it is, it could be years from now, he'll wait for that opening. That's what I've been told. I disagree with that because I think if there's mutual respect between two people, and there's communication, why not have friends of the opposite sex? Because you do grow and learn from each other, and I think that is very complimentary. I think about things that I've gone through in my life. There's many times I've called on my male friends for advice, especially if relationship involved. I want to hear the man's perspective. I want to, am I not understanding this right? Maybe I'm in the wrong here. Let me hear some of my male friends' perspectives on what I'm feeling or what I'm going through. So it's my male friends that I will call on during those times, and even with my kids. Because I'm a single mom, so I want to know what's your opinion regarding this kid situation? How would you have dealt with it? Would you have dealt with it differently? So I think there's great reasons to have the opposite sex as friends. Just period, when two single people. But then you add a relationship in it, you have to take in your partner's consideration and their comfortability. And there's many times that I've cut off my male friends because that's what my significant other wanted. And I regret that, to be honest. I regret that because I feel like I won't make that choice again. I feel like that's an issue that it's a personal issue that needs to be dealt with inward. It's not my issue if someone can't trust their significant other, because it's your significant other you need to trust. Mm-hmm. And they'll tell you, no, it's the men. I don't trust the men. There's always that vulnerability, that moment of vulnerability. They'll sneak in. And I'm like, no, but if you trust your significant other, you shouldn't have to worry about that.
I absolutely agree with you. I do not agree with your brother, by the way. And what you said is very important. It starts from within, security with yourself and your relationship. Now, if the relationship is based on strange going on or based on antitrust in the relationship because of whatever reason, somebody in a relationship did something, that's a different story. That's a different story. I think that's where relationships go awry a lot of times, is that we get in these relationships and feel like we have to lose the identity of who we are before we met that person. Mm-hmm. And you should never do that, because it's going to come a point in the relationship where you're going to have resentment toward that person, because you're going to feel like something's going to happen, whether it's somebody that is dear to your heart, or you just have a come to Jesus and realize that you're not being yourself. And when you start realizing the reason why you're not being yourself, because someone just decided that they weren't secure enough with themselves, that they wanted to put their insecurity on you. And that's what I really firmly believe, because whether it's a friend or not, if it's people that we come in contact with on a daily basis, we deal with the law of attraction all the time in the world that we live in.
Right.
We can watch somebody on TV and become attracted to them. We probably will never see that person ever again.
Right.
But because, or in real life, because that person is saying what we like to hear, the intellectual part of it, their physical features, the way they carry themselves, the way they dress. It's just a number of things that make people attractive. And some people don't have the same attraction. It differs from person to person. But like you said, it's very important that if that is an issue with you, that's something that you need to work out with you. Like, even within a relationship, if you have an insecure partner, there's nothing you can do for that partner. I don't care how much as a couple you sit down and talk to them about their insecurity. It's like being an alcoholic or having a drug addiction. Until they're ready to admit that they have a problem and they want to do something about it, I don't care how much money you throw at it. I don't care how much conversation you have. I don't care how you change your life to fit their insecurity. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. And I'm a firm believer that if you had male or female friends before your relationship, you keep those same friends.
Right.
Now, are you going to be hanging out at the club all the time like you used to do with them when you were single? No. And as a friend, they should respect that about you. And I think that's the other key, is that you want to make sure that the people that you call friends respect your relationship.
Right.
Because if they don't respect your relationship, that's when the issue becomes whether they're attracted to you or not.
Come on.
If they don't respect your relationship, that's leaving, regardless of the attraction, that's leaving room. And it may not even be them.
Right.
They may not respect your relationship enough they may bring somebody else around you that don't even know your girl or know your guy. And are they going to have any, commitment to you if they don't know your significant other? No. So they going to shoot their shot. But somebody that respects your relationship, they're mindful of the people that they even have around them when they're around you.
On that same note, Tim, I wrote something here. I said, asking your partner about their friend and your partner doesn't say anything.
Okay, elaborate on that.
So basically, it's like if you're like if you're on the phone, okay, and you're trying not to be so obvious, but then you say, and Tim says, okay, oh, Christy, hey, how's your friend doing? But you don't say anything.
The truth. But you're saying, what happens if your partner gets silent when you ask them about how's your friend doing? Who was that on the phone? And you tell them, and then you want to know, tell me about it. How's your friend doing? And they just go silent.
Just go silent.
Now, see, I'm big on open communication. You want to have that open communication. You get on the phone, you should be able to talk in front of your significant other to your friend. If they're leaving the room, there's something fishy about that.
Yeah.
If you're asking them, oh, how is your friend doing? And they're shutting down, there's something fishy about that. Like, I'm not a jealous person at all, but there are signs, there's red flags that are like, maybe
If
there's...
you walk like a duck, quack like a duck,
Yeah,
well, damn it, it's a duck.
That's what I say.
There's something off. But, the thing is, in a relationship, it comes down to trust. And you might have reason not to trust your significant other because he's leaving the room or she's leaving the room whenever she's on the phone with a friend. And so you have a reason there. But if you can't trust your significant other, it's not a relationship. What is a relationship without trust?
Nothing.
You're trying to hold it together with, with gum. You're trying to hold the relationship against falling. It's like stringy, and it's like you're not able to hold it together. That's what you're trying to do, saying, oh no, you're lying, you're sneaking around, you don't want to lose this person. And the person can feel it, they know it, so there's no trust there. And that's why they want to cut off their friends. The truth is, if both of you go into a relationship and you're like, okay, no friends of the opposite sex because I'm going to respect my relationship with you, you can't know, like you said, you don't know the people that you're going to encounter, the conversations you're going to have. What, are you going to feel like you cheated just because you had a conversation with someone? But are you going to be that type of person that goes home and is like, hey, I met this person, had a great conversation. Let's talk about it. What do you think about this conversation? Like, you should always include your significant other in the things going on, the conversations that you have. You should feel comfortable to do that, because if you can't, then that's when that wedge, that mistrust will just create more and more and more space until eventually the relationship just falls apart. So you have to have trust. You have to be on the same page. But if you can't allow your significant other to have friends of the opposite sex, if you don't trust that person, that is an internal issue with yourself, not your partner. Don't project onto them as if they're a cheater. Because guess what's going to happen? They're going to feel like they're doing something wrong, even though they're not. They're just trying to be loving, as loving as they know how to be. And they're feeling judged. So check yourself before you wreck yourself.
The other thing with that too is you have to be careful of being so investigative and worried about what's going on, because a lot of times a lot of that has to do with you feeling guilty about what you're doing. So if I'm projecting on you, just let me gift wrap this. If I'm projecting on you and I'm acting insecure, and every time your phone ring, I need to know who it is, or if it sounds like, hey, is that a guy on the phone you talking to, and I need to question everything about you. Sometimes it's that insecurity and that worry because that person is actually doing something. Because guilt was set in, especially with guys. It's with guys a lot of time it's a double standard. Like, it's okay for us to do it, but it's not okay for the woman to do it. And you have to be careful of that, because while you're projecting on that person and being insecure, that actually makes you look like you're guilty of something. And what I've always done in relationships, because everybody will tell you, I can count on my hand the number of guy friends I have and guys that I hang out with. I typically hang out with females. My friends have always been females. Yeah. Always. But what I do is, whenever I'm in a relationship, that person that I'm in a relationship, they meet my female friends. Not that I feel obligated, like, oh, I gotta. But when I go, if I'm inviting my female friends to go watch a game, when I'm not in a relationship, okay, if my significant other likes going to watch games, okay, my female friends are still coming to watch games, and that way you get to meet them, have the conversations. And I've never had it to where, in a couple relationships I've had, where the person that I was with left after hanging out with my female friends, like, hey, I don't trust her. Never. Because not that, like I said, not that I felt like I was obligated to introduce them, but if it's something I love to do, and there's people that joined me that, because that's what it was. Whenever I would go watch football or UFC fights, everywhere I go, I'll have 4 or 5 females sitting at the table watching the fights or watching the game with me. And I mean, that's typically what I vibe with, especially in Arizona. Without diving all into Arizona, I've lived in 30 of the 50 states, including Puerto Rico. And so for me, Arizona has always been the place for me to where I felt like a lot of the men here have women tendencies. And what I mean by that is the cattiness, the gossiping, and the insecurities,
Yes.
and the the misplaced trust.
Yes.
And so that's why I've always gravitated to females, because females basically is what you see, what you get. Like, female is gonna be a female,
Right.
and I jive better with them. I jive better with them, and it never feels like it's a competition like it does with a lot of guys. You hang out with some guys, and it's like you feel like that person is either one upping you or you having to one up them. And like I don't like that. When I'm in my space and when I'm doing the things that I love to do, I don't want to have to feel a certain way about the people that are around me.
Right.
And when I'm around my female friends, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that. Only when I'm in a group of guys. I tell people all the time, if you catch me with a group of guys, I'm holding them for the police. not literally, but I just don't move like that. I just don't move like that. So it's important that, and I talk to people all the time, as it pertains to life in general, is like, you kind of set the table for how you want your life to go. And when you get in a relationship with someone and you have to change who you are to be in that relationship, that's a problem.
That is.
That's a problem.
Yes.
Because the crazy thing about it is that's the thing that made them attracted to you from the jump. Now all of a sudden it's an insecurity. So that is a red flag, not with whoever is in, your friend. It's an insecurity it's a problem or a red flag with the person that you're in a relationship with. Because it's not going to just end with them feeling uncomfortable about your choice of friends. It's coming. Other things that's just one piece of it. Then, you spend time with family. Like, do you have to spend every waking moment with your family? I'm telling you, that is the cycle of it.
That is the trauma bonds too. People want to isolate you from your family and friends so they can have you all to themselves. That's like part of that trauma bond that we were talking about. But I have a friend that was just saying she agrees with you with the projecting, and I think that's especially true with men. When men are cheating, they tend to project, and they'll
That's definitely a man trait.
Yes, and they'll say, well, why are you doing this, or why are you flirting, or then because they're feeling guilty, they project onto you. And then I love my man.
Let's go through that.
Got
Let's go through.
some people saying, what about if they give you a reason not to trust them? And that's different. That's where it's between the two people. You have to have a good foundation. Now, if somebody gives you a reason not to trust, you have to think, do I want to be with this person? Do I really want to be in a relationship with someone I can't trust them? Knowing that eventually it's going to fall apart anyway, because trust is the foundation of a relationship. If you don't have trust, you don't have anything. That's just where it is. Trust me, I've tried to hang on to a lot of relationships for a lot of years, only to come to the conclusion that we don't have a relationship because there is no trust. There's no trust. What am I trying to hold on to? I don't trust this person when it comes to my emotional stability, to my physical stability. I don't trust this person at all. So what am I holding on to? So that's where you have to look inward and go, what am I holding on to? Why?
Yeah, there's definitely a bigger issue there.
And you have to maybe think, if you really want to stick with it, then counseling, or try what can we do to build that trust. I like the comment, no third willing.
What is that?
No third willing. He's saying no friends whatsoever. It's no third willing. Whew. We become one.
Hang his picture in the post office.
We become one. There's no third willing.
Watch out for this guy. Oh no, that sounds psychopathish. Like You're mine, and nobody else is gonna have you. If I can't
Exactly.
have you, no one
Nobody
will
will.
have you. Oh
Right.
no,
Yeah.
no, player, nope. We
Yeah.
ain't doing that. We ain't recommending that at
Yeah,
all.
and that gets dangerous.
It
because
does.
that's-
It really does. It
when
really
you
does.
become so possessive, you can't trust that person, yet you want to own them and feel like you're the only one who's allowed around them. That's very dangerous. I've been in a relationship like that too, and it almost ended very dangerously, let's just say. So, yeah.
I say this. I just feel like because naturally humans get tired of each other. I don't care how much you love the person you're with. We just naturally get tired. I strongly feel like there should be at least a couple nights of the week where each person in a relationship, especially if you live together, that you just go off and do your own thing. Have some hobbies, have some things that you go do that don't include the other person. And that way you get a chance to decompress. You get a chance to be in your moment and do the things that you love. That way when you come back together, you can share that experience, you could talk about it and this and that. It's so important especially for a guy, to have hobbies and have things that you enjoy doing by yourself or maybe with your guy friends, so it's that. So you have to create that environment that's conducive to you being in a relationship and not getting on each other's nerves. I mean, that's gonna happen regardless. But so I've always told the person that I'm in a relationship, hey, go out with your girls. Go, y'all want to take a trip to Vegas or take a trip, go on and enjoy yourself.
Tim, I agree and disagree.
How?
I agree that we all need our own time to do our own things. I disagree. I think you're projecting when you say we all get sick of each other. Maybe you.
It does.
Maybe in a relationship you
it's
have.
human nature. We may not say it,
okay.
but it's even. Okay, I'm
Projection.
gonna tell you this. I love my kids to death. You love your kids to death. Your kids get on your nerves.
Yeah.
Boy, go outside. Go play somewhere. I mean, it's just
Getting
it's normal.
on nerves and getting sick of them are two.
Well, we're not
two
talking.
different things. Now, in
We're not
a
talking like
relationship-
literally sick of somebody. We're talking like I need,
Tim.
We're getting on each other's nerves because every time I do something or every time I, we're around each other all the time. It's just factual that it's human to get on each other's nerves.
Okay, yes, we can get on each other's nerves, but to say that we just get sick of each other
No,
is a
I didn't mean
projection,
literally. I
because
didn't
I
mean
think
literally
in-
get sick of each other.
I
No.
think that in a relationship, if you are growing together and you continue to want to get to know your partner, because we are never the same person as we were yesterday, we are constantly growing. So when you meet someone and you're together for 20 years, I'm going to look at Floyd on this, you're together for 20, 30 years, that's not the same person today. Your wife's not the same person today as she was when you met her. She's changing. If you date and continue to get to know and you are eager to learn and get to know your significant other and date them continuously, it doesn't just stop like, I'm sick of them now. No, you have to grow together. You have to continue to want to learn each other every day, because every day you're changing.
That has nothing to do though with you needing to have that time.
No,
where
that's
you
the part
go,
I said I agree.
You
I
no,
agree that we
I
should
didn't
all do
mean
things.
literally. If you are sick of somebody, you shouldn't be in a relationship. I didn't mean literally sick of them. I mean just like I need my guy moment where I either go play basketball with the fellas or go golfing with the fellas or go work on my car with the fellas or go shooting or riding bikes or something. You that's so important. Iced tea and cocoa, I guarantee you they have that.
Not wanting to divulge too much information
Yes.
when it's not
Just
my
say
relationship.
yes.
I will say the first, and you can ask them this, I'd say the first at least, 15 years of their relationship, they were never out of each other's sight at all. If she had to come here, he came with her. If she had to get her nails done, he went with her. They went everywhere together. She got up at 4 a.m. to go on the Law and Order set with him every day. And this was for about the first 15 years. Things have changed now because she has Chanel. She has to get Chanel to school. And they've talked about that adjustment, how it's been a change for them ever since she had Chanel. and the changes that have happened within their relationship and how, you know, some things have been a struggle and how they made that work. But the first 15 years, no, they were together 24/7.
And two, it's hard to say about other people's relationships because you don't know what the preface of that stuff is. Like something could have went on either to where either she had threats or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that's what it is, but you love the fact that for 15 years we're inseparable. That means that that's your best friend. Like, or you didn't feel comfortable with her being by herself, or she's very supportive of Ice-T or whatever it is. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that.
Right.
I'm not saying that at all. But the idea behind me even saying have your time where you go do your own thing is because if you don't have a significant other that wants to share your hobbies, then that becomes a problem. If you're trying to bring that person with you to share your hobbies, because at some point it's going to come out, this is what you like to do. It's not what I like to do. And so that's why I say there has to be a divide in there with the things that you like and have that time. But if you have a partner that y'all love doing the same things, that's great. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with it. That's an ideal relationship, but that's few and far between. I mean, ain't too many people gonna find that.
Okay, so we got a couple more questions. Well, first of all, I just gotta, this guy is cracking me up. One comment, the same guy. We own each other. Come on, nah. That's the comment. We own each other. I have a big issue with somebody who says own. Because I think men, especially when they
Hold on, don't compare us to him. Please don't categorize. Say some men. Say some men.
You didn't let me finish.
But you said men.
You didn't let me
I
finish.
really feel
I
that
said
men.
that men who, and then you cut me off. Men who put a ring on it right away. That's their way of saying I own you. They want to put a ring on it right away.
I wouldn't say that's them all the time.
I'm taken.
I wouldn't say right away. I'd say we'd have to not generalize that because a lot of times the men put a ring on it right away because they've been pressured to put a ring on it right away. So I wouldn't say that's, I would say that's always.
If you are in a relationship and all of a sudden a man wants you to wear a ring right away, that is him trying to take ownership of you and show the world that you are his and he owns you. And I have a big problem with that because, honey, even when we are married, you do not own me. I will never be owned.
Look at that. Look at her. Look at her.
You see that?
This is.
It's not never be owned.
Never. You could tell somebody tried to own her. She ain't having nobody own her never again in life, in history.
Nope. And I realized that was an issue.
We telling y'all all the warning signs to look out
but
for. Like if this is happening, and what's so crazy is a lot of this stuff is prevalent early in the relationship, and you see these warning signs, and you continue to stay in relationships that you know aren't going anywhere, but you stay in them for convenience purposes. That's why I say 99.9% of the time, you should never be surprised in how your relationship turned out because men aren't smart enough to hide it in the beginning. We have let you know from the beginning what our potential is, and you've ignored it because either you want to change the man or you see something in him that feels like you can look past it. Don't look past it, or you will be in this position where you are on the outside looking in.
Thank you for that, Tim. Okay, but I have another good one.
Okay.
What about friends that you have crossed the line once with? Can you remain friends with that person while you're in a relationship?
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Look, I'm kind of partial to that. I think, okay, this is what has to happen. That's a tough one.
If you do that,
what y'all say?
If you do that, is it to the point that the person and the person that they did it with are they like continuing doing it, or are they?
No, you know what she said. Somebody that you have been with in the past. Okay. Can you be in a relationship with them while you're in a relationship?
Okay. That one.
Be friends.
Now,
Exactly. Exactly.
No, I'm sorry. To
Exactly. There's
Okay,
no way.
I say yes.
Well, no.
Huh?
Okay.
I say yes.
You say yes?
Yeah, I see
say
that.
yes.
Yeah, I do. I say yes too.
Okay.
Yeah.
How?
Yes.
See that.
How?
Because it's the past. If you're not.
We are always growing and changing.
I
If you're
committed murder
friends-
20 years ago. It's a past, but it's still on my record. Are you going to be
did
friends
too.
with me knowing I committed double murder?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know who to call.
Bro, y'all making this too easy. I'm sweating over here. I don't know about this, y'all. Look, I'm all
Here's the
for
thing. Here's the
keeping
thing.
your male and female friends with somebody you done did to do with. Come on, y'all please chime in and help. I don't know how to answer this one. I'm really stuck right now.
I think you can. And here's the thing. Because we are constantly growing and changing, you have this friendship relationship. You've crossed lines at one point or another. You communicate, hey, I'm in a relationship now. You have to respect that. As long as those lines aren't crossed again, it's up to you to make sure that those lines don't get crossed. You also tell your significant other, hey, this is what happened, happened however many years ago, 20 years ago could be. We're friends still, But
Yeah,
as long as you
I don't
have
know.
communication, now it's up to your significant other. Of course, I'm sure they're going to want to be around when you're...
No,
you
see,
have-
one thing about it,
no.
It
Hold
depends
on.
the person. Depends on the person because. Yep, it depends on the person because they're not gonna say that. They're not gonna say, "Oh, this is somebody that I've done this with." This is,
First of all, don't you
Why-
think that's something
why-
that you probably should tell them if
Yes.
you
you're
should,
Yes.
but
You don't
they
think so?
don't.
You don't
I
think
hope
someone
your
will
wife
tell
don't
you?
watch this.
Oh, I know.
You don't think that people divulge that information? Yeah. back in the day, I was
Okay.
thinking-
Let's
I
go
do.
back to that. Should that be a conversation? Like if you're friends with somebody, should
Yeah.
that be a conversation you have with who you're in a relationship with?
Okay, so-
and let them know that hey, this is somebody I had been with.
When I was married and we, sat down, any friends that I had been intimate with, he wanted me to cut them all out. I was like, okay, I respect that. You're going to do the same thing. Of course, years later, Little Black Book comes out and I find out having friends never stop being friends with all of those females. I'm like, well, why? I started calling up my friends to see how they were doing, check in on them. And I'm like, you know what? We got along so great for a reason. They have great advice. I really enjoy being their friends. And even though we might have had something that happened in the past, yeah, I'm still friends with them. And I've never stopped being friends with them.
You know what, y'all? I'm gonna have to disagree.
You're gonna
I'm gonna
disagree
have
with
to.
that?
I'm gonna have to disagree with that. Especially this day and age, because a lot of my female friends look better now than they did when they was younger. So I think I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to say no on that. Somebody that no, I ain't.
So no.
Could you imagine though? You already are attracted to a person. Period. You're going through whatever you're going through in your relationship, and that person that you have done to do with is there comforting you.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Okay.
Floyd, it'll be all right. You can call me anytime. And I'm there for you. Ain't no way in the hell the conversation about what y'all did is not gonna come up. It's gonna come up.
No, that is not true. I have many conversations with people I've been with. It does not come up. Doesn't come up.
First of all, we're talking while you ain't been in a relationship with nobody since being in that last relationship. So for you to be saying that, then stop it. All that extra hand. No.
Yeah, but
Stop it.
I had conversations when I was in a relationship. Oh yeah, gonna get together. If you're in town, we'll all get together for lunch. We don't talk about what happened 20 years ago. Like that doesn't come.
First of all, I didn't say that. What I said was if you are going through something in a relationship and the person that you have done to do with, you're reaching out to them talking about your relationship and what's going on. And you're like, hey, you can call me anytime and talk to me and this and that. You start telling that person intimate details about what's going on in your life. At some point, the fact that you slipped and fell on a penis is going to come up. It's going to come up. I don't care what y'all say. or the fact that you went head first into a coochie, it's gonna come up.
It's gonna come up.
It's gonna come up.
Hey.
So I'm gonna be a firm no on being friends with. Now you could be acquaintance. Like if I see you out and about, I'll hug you. Hey, what's up? But you're not getting invited to Friendsgiving or whatever they call that, or the barbecue. I think.
Oh, there's a lot
And
of
we're laughing about it, but this is where the trust is built in a relationship. Whether that person knows that you have been with that person or not, there's still, if you're trying to build on something, you have to respect your relationship. And having somebody inside your friendship circle that you know that you've done to do with, I think is infringing on that build. Because it's human. Whether it's the female baby may be able to control that situation where she's like, oh, ain't nothing gonna happen. But a guy, us, all we need is that tingling in one ball. And if we sense some vulnerability from that woman that she needs somebody in her corner, we may have all the intention in the world of being just a friend. You Christy, give them hugs, man. You mess around and give one of them hugs, bro. I'm telling you, resistance is not there. I'm sorry. I can't be close. I can't be friends with. We can be acquaintance. I ain't gonna spite you. Like if I see you out, I'm come over. Hey, how you doing? This and that. I ain't gonna walk by you. But we can't be cool. Yeah. We can't be cool. So we gonna end it on that. This was a very lively discussion and some stuff that came out. Your girl Mia said, "Oh no," she said, "Oh no," and Tony, who is basically hiding from his wife anyway, saying not true. So he probably about to show up here.
What's
you know,
not true?
Tony.
I want to hear what.
Yeah, he gonna show up. He got a habit of showing up depending on what we talking about. But this was a very lively show, and we can really go for another hour on this topic because your people were bringing up some stuff that I didn't even think we were gonna go in that direction. But hey, it is what it is. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today, man. We love the back and forth dialogue with the people that follow us, the people that support us. So keep chiming in. We may not comment to you guys all the time, but yeah, talk to us, because it brings up some valid questions that we didn't have intentions on talking about or asking. So that was that made the conversation very lively. So like we said at the beginning of the show, man, keep people in your prayers, reach out to your friends, love on them, support them, and show that they're loved. A lot of people, especially this day and age with things that are going on, whether it's financially or health wise, people need to know that there's people out there that love them, man, and love on these people, man. Mend some of these fences that were that you may have thought was unmendable, because a lot of times it's over some BS anyway. And life is just too short and too precious to be letting menial stuff come in between people, man. Just mend those fences and love on everybody, because we know not the day nor the hour where God is going to call us home, or wherever you going after this. I know I'm going where God is. So, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But just want to tell you guys, we love you. We appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, give us that feedback, whether negative or positive. That's the only way we're going to grow the show. And that's how we end all shows. Love, peace, and soul.